Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Football Time. And today, we are back with another reaction video from Eric Rayweather. Madden 26 gameplay is here. Now, your boy just got finished reacting to the Madden 26 gameplay deep dive. That is on my channel right now, so be sure to check that out. And with Eric Rayweather, we are going to get a lot more information, some stuff that they probably posted on their blog, which I don't really read. So yeah, this is a pretty long one. Not going to make this intro any more longer than it has to be. I just want to let you guys know, we ready to hop into this, baby.
We just got our first look at Madden 26 gameplay, and we just found out about all the features and changes
Let's
coming
go.
to gameplay. Now, this video is sponsored by EA, as they did get me some of this information early so that I could get this video ready quickly for you guys. So on the screen, you will see the Madden gameplay playing as I go over all of the information that they just posted on their website.
And it looks so good.
From when I did play the game recently at EA. Now we're gonna dive into all this information.
Hands-on impressions. I like to see that. We'll hear that.
Made changes to player movement, changes to the physics. They've made a complete overhaul to the QBs and the throwing. They've made some really good changes to the ability system. They've added some stuff from the college football game that was well received and more. So there's a lot to go
like
over.
wear and tear.
So their big thing this year with gameplay is built from Sundays. They're really trying to dive deeper into making the game as authentic as possible. So let's start with signature identity. It says our goal for Madden 26 is to make each Sunday feel different and each game feel rewarding. Each time you play a game, whether it be versus the AI versus another user, online or offline, you should feel immersed in a rewarding challenge, a strategic chess match, and an overall NFL experience where the unique identities of the teams, coaches, players.
I would love to see what the CPU plays like, especially like on third downs and stuff.
It says the NFL quarterback is the most iconic position in all of sports. As we continue pushing the ball forward with signature styles in Madden, we saw an opportunity to completely reimagine the performance of the position. What we mean when we say performance includes all the following: visual quality, signature behaviors, improved AI, and new mechanics. And that starts with the in-pocket behaviors. The first component of QB DNA is behavior inside the pocket. The first thing you'll notice is the new signature ball holds. We'll have 9 unique ball holds at launch, including 2-hand and 1-hand variations of high and low holds. For 1-hand variations, the QB AI is dynamic enough to contextually switch to 2-hand holds when under pressure or in traffic to increase ball security. For visual quality, a big benefit of having unique ball holds is that they align better with the way each QB's throwing motion works and puts much less stress on blending the animations together when trying to account for a variety of throwing motions from a very few ball holds. And here's a list of the 9 ball holds. You've got Gunslinger, Gunslinger 1-hand, Gunslinger mid, so on and so forth. And it says we've
okay, so a lot of the same as far as like the names.
More and or patting the ball and moving their head around to find open receivers while reading the field from the pocket.
Ooh, I like to hear that.
Scramble / on the run. It says there's a significant amount of improvements coming for the scramble game, both for passing and running. We've completely revamped all of our on the run passing animations and now have a full animation coverage from every arm angle. We've also improved the footwork fundamentals to ensure that the QB's hips and shoulders get into the appropriate position relative to where the QB is trying to throw the ball when moving. To further improve QB scrambling, we've added to our run cycle sets. That means Kyler Murray has a unique style along with Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts and Chiefs All-World QB Patrick Mahomes will now have signature locomotion sets. We've added coverage to our traditional 1-hand and 2-hand scramble types, which will be assigned to each QB based on how they hold the ball when they scramble. And I've talked about this in a previous video, but when I played the game at EA, I referenced Kyler Murray specifically. When he runs around and starts scrambling, he has that little short, choppy run. Some people say he runs like a toddler or like a little kid. It's very chaotic.
It's like this.
In the game, not only when you're using him,
it's super fast.
Uses him that way too. When he's trying to buy time and scramble around, he looks a lot more like himself, and other QBs have their signature styles as well, which just makes the game feel more authentic.
Okay. Like to hear that.
Passing is the heart of the QB position, and Madden NFL 26 delivers a complete overhaul.
If you can't pass, you in trouble.
Bring smoother, more responsive gameplay. They've also added signature off-platform throws, unique passes like Mahomes' no-look, Josh Allen's crossbody, and Caleb Williams' jump passes that trigger only for
That jump
specific
pass
QBs
looks
in
so
real-life scenarios.
crazy. I don't
Random
remember
base
seeing
arm
that
slots over the
in the
top,
game.
3/4 high and 3/4 low, match each QB's
You
natural
guys gotta let
footwork
me know what
and
game
make
he did
changes
that in
mid-play
so I can check
with
it out.
QBs like Matt Stafford. They've even refined the ball spin and release mechanics for improved realism and replay value. Re-imaging the quality bar of the QB means going into every detail of the position, and that means even refining how the ball comes out of the hand on each throw, so that it spins out of the hand smoothly, leaving the pointer finger last, and it comes out with the correct trajectory, spin, and power based on the selected throw, so that the throws look and feel buttery smooth every time. Across each component of QB DNA, in pocket, on the run, and passing, they've also added over 500 new animations and have 40 unique quarterback recipes, so that whether you're playing against a CPU-controlled QB,
Damn,
or
40?
using
That's a
yourself,
lot.
each one will look, behave, and feel like their real-life counterpart.
Once
In this
again, I
video,
would love to
one
see
of
what the
things that will
CPU
stand out
plays
the
like.
most about this game, the way QBs release the ball, the way it comes out of their hands, it just looks so much more improved. And I think people have talked about this in the past, where it just looks like the ball would sometimes kind of warp out of the QB's hands, whether they're throwing a bullet pass, throwing deep, whatever the case may be. It always looked a little weird how it left the hand, and it's one of those things where when you do see it, it's hard to unsee it. Maybe some of you have not noticed it, but you'll notice this year.
I
the releases
haven't
are a lot
really
smoother, the
noticed
way
it,
these QBs throw the
but
ball looks so much more accurate to
I've
their
seen
real-life
clips
counterparts, and I think visually and just
like
how it feels
on
playing,
TikTok and
definitely
stuff.
is a pretty significant upgrade for the game. Moving on here, Madden 26 also introduces new QB mechanics to enhance user control. Field vision now factors in QB's height. Shorter QBs may struggle to see over linemen, impacting their accuracy. Vision is
Okay.
black, receiver icons
Oh, I
fade
like that
out,
change right
rewarding
there.
taller pocket passers while balancing mobile quarterbacks. QB
So
setup
don't
moves
choose
like
a short
fielded
quarterback.
moves are back and now can be performed behind the line of
Sorry,
scrimmage with the
Carla.
right stick. No modifier is needed for this, but to use Playmaker, you will have to hold the left trigger or L2 while flicking the stick. They've also upgraded QB AI to make facing the CPU more realistic and rewarding. Scramble decisions now factor in down, distance, score, clock, and estimated yards before contact, making QBs more aware of the first down situations. Pocket movement is smarter too, with QBs using a pocket center as an anchor point, stepping up or moving based on pressure and drop back depth. They'll even retreat at times to buy time. AI QBs can now make hot reads. Better QBs react faster to pressure, while lower rated ones hold the ball longer. A complete overhaul to read progression uses machine learning to find open
Got Travis
receivers with
Hunter there.
awareness rating affecting how many reads
Drake
you make in the
London.
process. As plays extend,
Is that a
top
new
QBs will take
animation?
more deep shots, creating a wider gap between elite passers and average ones and making the defense more of a challenge. And these are things that are going to be big for like the franchise player, these QBs that actually are smarter now. So you can't just kind of spam plays like mid blitz on them anymore.
Finally! Oh my goodness, bro. I just gotta go on a little rant. Can y'all please stop spamming the same fucking plays, bro? Like, seriously, I understand. Now, if you have a favorite play, okay, cool. You can have a favorite play. But don't spam 2 to 3 plays and then say, oh, EA hasn't added any new plays. Stop it. You're doing the exact same thing that you're accusing EA of doing. And that's recycling. Stop it. Find something new. Damn.
Rating, which I feel like in the past has not mattered nearly enough, now is going to matter a lot more for quarterbacks. A lower awareness QB is not going to be able to go through his progressions as good as a guy like
I like to see that.
would, and you'll see them maybe lock onto their first read a little bit more.
So like the third string is not going to like go crazy on you.
Play more elite when you're going against them in your franchise modes. Another big thing they've done this year is overhaul the trait system, and this is going to be big for QBs, but also other positions as well. Now, the old trait system, you may remember, was just simple stuff like, does he throw a tight spiral? Does he make sideline catches? Does he protect the ball? But now it goes way more in depth than that, and it really drives how these players perform on the field. Madden 26 will have 50 new player traits at launch, which serve as the mentals or decision-making for the CPU-controlled players.
And one good thing I like about this, you notice he said at launch, so they're going to add more, possibly.
Decisions on the field. For example, Josh Allen will have the run over trait, which makes him more likely to run through contact when scrambling.
Grown man string.
Out of bounds. Allen was assigned this trait because over the last 2 NFL seasons, Allen has led the league with 54% of his scrambles resulting in at least 3 yards after contact. And you'll notice other players, for example, like a Lamar Jackson, when he scrambles, he's going to try to make players miss with jukes because that's what he does a lot more in real life. Now, here are the list of 50 traits and what they do. I will pop them up on the screen in a few separate screenshots so that you can pause the video and read them.
Okay, we gonna read over this right quick. One would look for stars. Quarterback with this trait will look to throw their star to their star receivers more. Okay. Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Oh my goodness. They're gonna love that one. Risk taker. Quarterback with this trait would tend to force the ball downfield and throw it into tight windows. That was Josh Allen earlier in his career. Last year he did a really good job of not doing that. Cause the quarterback with this trait would tend to throw shorter passes, avoid forcing. Okay. We know a lot of quarterbacks that do that. Alright, candidate quarterbacks with this trait will have a higher tendency to throw bullet passes up and over. Quarterbacks with this trait will have a higher tendency to throw lob passes. Snap mischief. Quarterbacks with this trait often perform fake heights, especially on late downs and short yardage situations. Okay.
I will pop them up on the screen in a few separate screenshots so that you can pause the video and read them because I'm just trying to speed the video up. I don't want this video to go 30 plus minutes if I can help it.
Alright, I'm not gonna read all that, but
as you can see,
there you go, guys.
A ton of different traits that's going to impact every position on the field, and this, along with ratings and the way they've kind of retuned abilities, I think is going to give us the most accurate on-field gameplay from CPU players that we've ever seen in a Madden game. Moving along here, Madden 26 also introduces Coach DNA to bring each NFL head coach's real-life tendencies and style into gameplay. Beating the CPU with the same plays over and over is a thing of the past. You'll now need to adjust your strategy based on your opponent's coaching profile. Data-driven coaching.
Oh man, I absolutely love it.
Play calling data to power a machine learning model that predicts what each coach would do in specific situations. This model enhances both coach suggestions and AI play calling, factoring in down distance, score, personnel clock, field position, and even the weather. CPU teams will call plays true to their coaches. The Dan Campbell coach Lions will aggressively go for it on 4th down more than anybody else, and Nick Sirianni coach Eagles will use RPO and zone reads to play to the strengths of Jalen Hurts. For your own play calling, coach suggestions will be powered by the data-driven model, so if you want to compare what you would dial up versus what the real-world coach would have, you can see that play in the coach suggestions tab. There's also something called RTC, Real-Time Coaching AI, and that takes Madden 26 strategy to new levels, delivering an authentic, evolving NFL experience. The defense can now disguise coverages with delayed safety rotations, pre-snap adjustments, and timed blitzes, forcing players to read the defense post-snap. And the NFL coach archetypes add realism by reflecting real defensive philosophies, like the Chiefs and the Vikings bringing pressure with blitz-heavy schemes, while teams like the Eagles and Steelers disguising coverages with too high or one high looks. RTC makes every game feel strategic and true to the identity of the NFL team. And along with this, there's also something called adaptive counters, and this can dynamically change the suggested plays based on your opponent's tendencies in the game. For example, if you're playing against a mobile QB, the model will start suggesting more QB contain or zone coverage plays to combat the running QB. Now, all that stuff about the coaching and the AI sounds great. It's one of those things, though, we have to see to really know how good it is, because
that's true.
In the past they've said stuff similar to this. I don't think nearly as in-depth as what they're saying this year.
Yeah, they're going really in-depth in this.
And if it works, it's going to make franchise mode for people feel so much better.
I was just about to say that. This is, if this works, oh my goodness. I think it's going to change franchise mode if this works. Especially for the people that are really into this.
A big talking point. It says the final component of Coach DNA is also one of the most important for our players. It says that they have added nearly 1,000 new plays for the launch of 26, which is twice the amount of plays that were introduced in 25. Their focus for the playbooks in Madden 26 were the following: motions and shifts, stunts and twists, exotic defensive pressure, and new coach adjustments. This all sounds really good. Motions and shifts are more common than ever in the NFL, and in Madden 26, it reflects that with new auto motion, double motion plays, and auto shifts. Player movement and motion now looks more natural thanks to new locomotion sets with varying speeds. Defenders now follow motions more intelligently, and for the first time, defenses can make adjustments even after a motion starts. On defense, stunts and twists are finally here. You can add stunts to any compatible play directly from the play call menu with up to 12 options depending on formation. The system dynamically supports appropriate stunts based on the front. And to match today's pass-heavy NFL, Madden 26 also introduces exotic blitzes like simulated pressures, letting you overload one side without rushing more than 4. Expect more looping and crossing blitzes to bring strategic pressure to the QB. And I got to play around with this at EA, and I had to say, it's a lot of fun, and you can get really creative with it. And I know somebody's probably going to find some glitchy stuff to do with it. That's just what comes with the nature of games. But I like that we have the ability to do all these different stunts.
I give it a week before they find something glitchy in it.
Been seeing in the NFL. We want the game to play and look as realistic as possible, and they're doing that in a big way this year with all the stuff they're adding. They've also added some really cool coaching adjustments to Madden 26 to give you more control. You can now adjust your safety depth to go deep, prevent, tight, or close. You can adjust the width to go spread, wide, or pinch. And you can set the midpoint left, right, strong, weak, field, or boundary to better counter your opponent's strategies. There's also new RPO adjustments that let you control how AI defenders react, focusing on the run or pass based on your call. Now let's move on to a really big one this year, football weather. Madden 26
this one I'm here for.
To bring more realism to playing in the elements. All existing weather types.
Oh my goodness, it looks so cool.
And heavy rain with fog. In extreme conditions, visibility drops, players slip during cuts, wide receivers lose footing off the line, and linemen can stumble on their gift.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I feel like I'm gonna be frustrated though with my wide receiver slipping.
Passing, kicking, and ball security are also impacted. Expect more drops, fumbles, and missed tackles. Cold weather teams like Buffalo or Chicago will perform better in the snow, while warm weather teams like Miami or LA suffer heavy penalties. But on the flip side, cold weather teams will fatigue faster in extreme heat. Precipitation and wind are now.
I like that. I like that little like pros and cons for both.
NFL conditions. And this is something I'm really excited for you guys to see. When you're playing in this heavy snow and heavy rain, it's a much different experience than we've seen in a Madden game before, and I think it is pretty awesome. Now we're going to move on to the
love to hear that
community requests, where they've addressed a lot of things that people have been asking for, and one of the biggest ones is player movement. Player movement now blends the best of Madden and college football into one unified system focused on speed and responsiveness. Built for more control and acceleration, deceleration, and change of direction, movement also maintains realistic top-end speed tuned to match today's top athletes. This change directly responds to player feedback, favoring the faster, more responsive feel of college football 25. And yes, the game finally feels fast again, but it's not quite as fast as college 25, and I don't think it should be. I don't think the game should feel like but this is a
perfect balance. I like that.
It feels like you actually have
so is it more like Madden 20?
And it really feels like you can do what you want.
Because I feel like Madden 20 was like the last fast one before they moved to the PS5.
Depth chart positions we've been asking for years, and finally we have it. The long snapper position is now a primary depth chart spot with a long snapper rating. They've also added new positions like edge, Sam,
they added a rating?
will linebackers, as well as secondary nose tackle, and a new gadget player role for players like Taysom Hill or Deebo Samuel. These changes overhaul franchise logic, affecting draft, free agency trades, and progression, bringing more strategy to roster movement. The gadget player allows for unique formations, while edge players in a 4-3 and 3-4 schemes are more authentic. And you even have to keep a legit long snapper on your roster, or you're going to get slow snaps because there is a long snapper rating.
Oh, wow.
Unique two-way role has
for a lot of people that bad, you know what? We could just trade him.
But you have to be
Hunter
will have an exclusive ability to minimize fatigue,
unless you want broken controllers.
Custom abilities. And yes, speaking of wear and tear, they have brought wear and tear from college over to 26 after a lot of people have requested it. And they said that they'll dive deeper on that when they do the franchise deep dive. But if you've played college 25, you kind of understand how the system works. They've obviously tweaked it and made it better this year, and Madden will be getting that. They've also made a lot of improvements to pass coverage. This is something the community complains about all the time, so they're trying to make it better. They said that they even brought in a Super Bowl winning former NFL defensive back to help with the redesign. So they made a lot of improvements with cover 4 to combat a lot of the concepts that people like to use. They've updated the deep half logic so that the defenders will reach their landmark quicker and with more urgency as they gain more depth. They've also did a lot of tuning with man coverage. And the first improvement is a new defender cut reaction system that creates more authentic celebration. Based on player ratings and leverage, this system allows receivers to create varied separation. When a receiver wins a cut, defenders can lose balance, creating opportunities for big plays. Lockdown
I like to see that.
Limit space.
Imagine like a player like falling after a cut,
and receiver openness. Now, the base formula for this is still going to be man coverage versus the different route running ratings, but the leverage side of the defender, however, will have a significant impact on the outcome of the cut as well as the amount of separation the receiver can gain. If a defender is aligned to the outside at the snap, the receiver will have a much lower chance to win on a cut to the outside, and even when he does, the amount of separation will be far less than if he would have cut to the inside, and obviously vice versa. If you focus on the inside, it's going to be harder for them to win on the inside routes. And leverage will also play a big role in how defenders match with the zone match coverage that turns to man as well. And to balance man coverage, they've also improved how defenders play the ball. They've refined the AI logic to prevent psychic interceptions and made defenders more likely to knock out catches if they're not facing the ball. They also added a new route commit feature, which I think is going to be a massive improvement for the game. So if you want to commit your defender to the inside, it's going to be almost impossible for them to win on an inside route. Whereas if you go outside and the defense commits inside, you're probably going to burn them as you should. And this is different than defensive shading in the past. This is an all-new mechanic that you can use to really target where you think your opponent's trying to go with the ball. Moving on to the physics, last year they introduced Boom Tech, and this year they're expanding that out based on player feedback. It says that they've improved the tackle alignment to reduce instances of tackles triggering without full contact and address the momentum issues by minimizing falling animations. Ball carriers now transition more smoothly back into locomotion after contact.
Yeah, with Gibbs, like the way his movement was in and out, it did look a lot better.
Hit sticks and cut sticks from last year. New timing-based mechanics such as strip ball tackles, lunge tackles, and wrap tackles allow players to have more control over the outcome of tackles. They've also added a new reach for the sticks mechanic. When near the first down or goal line while holding up on the right stick, you can extend the ball out. However, if you're in a crowd, that comes with the risk of fumbling. And this is something that should have been added. Obviously, years ago, they
I
added
love to
the
see that.
automatic reach out where players would sometimes do it when they're close, but now it's in our control, which it should be. If I'm
I like that.
take that risk to reach out, and I think that's a really cool quality of life.
You do gotta be careful though, cause
and that's not it.
you gotta be paying attention and don't accidentally hit it.
Introduce the custom route stems.
I can
now
see
they're
that.
adding the counter that, which are custom zones, which basically is the opposite of custom route stems on offense. You can now take individual zones and you can stem them back as far as you want them to go or as short as you want them to go. And that's not all. We've got even more. Block steering was another big focus this year for the gameplay. Block steering gives you more control and reflects player physics and ratings and interactions. First, when controlling a defender in the trenches, you'll use the left stick to steer the blocker, either pushing them into the backfield or moving them side to side. The effectiveness depends on the player ratings, momentum, and positioning. Second, for the second level defenders, you'll maintain your momentum and direction when engaged with a blocker. This prevents feeling stuck or held, letting you control movement based on player ratings and momentum. Block steering also benefits AI-controlled players, improving gap control and run defense for both your teammates and opponents. The leverage system determines the desired positioning for blockers and defenders based on play design and adjustments. It then uses player ratings and body positions to select the appropriate animation showing which player wins the gap. For example, in a zone run, the guard aims to get his head to the play side of the defensive tackle. Depending on their ratings and position, the animation will show whether the blocker or defender controls the gap. They've also added new tools to improve interactions with the preset protections. The untarget defender mechanic lets you direct your line to ignore a player, useful for when linebackers drop into coverage. Protection on the fly allows you to quickly switch protection directions with the flick of the right stick, streamlining adjustments. So basically, to sum it up, because it's a lot of info here, they've done a lot of work on both sides of the ball with blocking and how the defenders react. So you can steer players in directions you want them to go. They're going to react more appropriately, and it should allow you to pop big runs if you set everything up correctly or the person you're playing doesn't understand how to control the gap properly. They've also upgraded pass block locomotion, capturing a new set of movements specific to offensive linemen and for more realistic and athletic pass sets. In the play action game, they've extended the run block targeting system to improve blocking, making play action sequences more authentic with scheme-specific rules and animations. And hey, look, I know this video is getting long, but they just dropped a ton of information and we got to cover it. They've also updated superstar abilities.
This is a
And
lot.
this is a really
Ooh,
big
superstar
change. I think
abilities.
They kind of took this from college in a way. Now the abilities will not have a guaranteed or nearly guaranteed outcome. You'll instead see increased chances close to 50%.
I love
when
that
conditions of
change.
each ability are met. So no longer is
Okay.
the ability is guaranteed to happen every time you use it.
Okay.
It's more of a 50-50.
Oh
It's a lot
shit,
better
now
way
it's
to
gonna
look at it.
change a
They
lot of
also
people
added
playing
on-spot
style.
celebrations to bring more control and excitement to celebrations, you'll now have movement control after scoring a touchdown, where you'll have a window of time to either sprint or jog with your player and get to one of 9 hotspots along the boundaries of the end zone.
Oh
Each
my
hotspot
god.
will
I
use
want to
unique
see how that
information
looks
on
like.
where the celebrating player is. You'll see shadow boxing with the goalpost, totally legal fake dunk attempts near the crossbar, celebrations that
Nah,
interact
they got
with the crowd,
fake
and even more
dunks in
signature
it.
content, to name just a few. All in all, there are 20 solo celebrations plus numerous animations across the hotspots. You'll be able to view
That's
the
a good
celebration
that's a
that
good
are
number
built
right there.
each button
20.
combo in the pause menu. So kind of taking what college did last year and then improving on it with the actual hotspots. Now there's a long list of things you can do with any player. Some guys will actually have more signature things that they can do. But the hotspot thing, if you remember back in Madden 9, they had this for a few years and they took it out. This was a cool feature where you could go to different spots on the field and celebrate. And now you can even do things like the Lambeau Leap, which is back in the game as well. So kind of something different.
Yep. Oh, they took that out?
I like it. They
Oh,
also added
probably
a
no fun
modernized
league.
skills trainer, which I think is something the game has been needing. It says if you're a gamer that wants to know more about the mechanics of Madden or hit the lab to refine your skills, we've completely rebuilt the skills trainer experience for Madden 26. Leveraging the power of the mini games tool, they've made the mechanics more fun, seamless, and overall a more enjoyable experience. And they said that they now have a drill for every single mechanic in the game. There are 130 new tutorials in the game.
Yeah.
Everything you can imagine, which is good because there are literally
It is.
mechanics in the game that people don't know how to use, and there's nothing in the game
Facts.
that actually teaches you. So now there is a drill for literally
For the
everything.
longest time,
So
I
if
did not know how to
you're
QB
an
slide.
intermediate player and you don't know how everything works, now there is a trainer that will literally teach you everything, and I think that is huge for people that are playing this game. You want them to know how the game works. Now, we're not done just yet. They also said the full hot route tree is available by default in passing hot routes, something that college did last year. They're now doing that this year for Madden. All hot routes available. That is a huge update. We should have had that. I know this was a ton of information. I tried to make it as quick as possible, but they dropped a lot of info on us today. If you want to know more about college football 20...
To be honest with you, I don't got much to say because this is already a long one. Okay, I've been recording for almost 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna end it right here. Hopefully you guys did like this information that EA provided. Let me know in the comments below where you most excited for and what things wasn't talked about in this that you thought was cool. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.